struggling to come to grips with reality. Confusion and chaos have become part of me. I seek answers to know where my liberation lies. Only in peace and calmness does that clarity arise. Transmissions of wisdom bring me insights of reason. Let my mind expand to the higher states. My mortality is no longer at stake. Let me hear the wisdom transmissions. The wisdom transmissions. So many voices, so many interpretations. No answers given, only outer temptations. Where can I find that truth inside of me? Realization of what I am is all I'm wanting to see. Transmissions of wisdom bring me insights of reason. Let my mind expand to the higher states. My mortality is no longer at stake. Let me hear the wisdom transmissions. The wisdom transmissions. No more redirection, ending the contemplation. Forget fighting reflection. Outer world's a projection. Internal is the cause, external's an effect, put it on pause. I'm silencing the noise, centering, entering void. Truth is beautifully subtle, the voice without a voice. Heart and mind shall settle, making decisions now, escaping illusions of choice. Transmissions of wisdom bring me insights of reason. Let my mind expand to the higher states. My mortality is no longer at stake. Let me hear the wisdom transmission. The wisdom transmissions.
And good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. Hope that song pumped you up. Getting ready for the wisdom transmissions. As you can tell, I didn't sing it. So, all right. Well, welcome everybody. Thank you very much for being here. Let me just go ahead and fix my microphone. It's a little bit loud. There we go. All right, and of course, my lovely Breanne is here with us today. So, honey, how have things been with you? How have your sessions been? Anything interesting that you wanted to share with everybody?
Yeah, it's been an interesting, I mean, even I guess the last month here. So, first of all, yes, the sessions have been amazing. I do have 20% off right now. It will only be for the next 3 days, so go check that out if you guys are interested in a reading. I do have a new session as well, which is a package with a tarot guided kind of meditation and a spell sealed in wax as well. So that's been a lot of fun, and I had some recent sessions with that have been amazing. And to kind of also include on that, I've been connecting with my guide a little bit more, Sarah. So it's been a really fun adventure, and I've been having fun posting videos for you guys.
Oh, good. I'm not the only one talking to a Syrian anymore, right? So it's good. So yes, Breanne is talking to a Syrian guide known as Sarah. So I think you talk about that in your videos as well too. So you can find Breanne's wisdom transmissions. You can find Breanne's YouTube channel here. Just go to Readings with Breanne. You'll find it there. And of course, wisdom. Here we go again. I'm like wisdom transmissions on my mind today. And readingswithbreanne.com. We're gonna get to that in the announcements here in just a moment. So again, if you guys do have personal questions, please remember that personal questions are just done by donation only. So again, if you ask it by free, we will basically be ignoring it. So they need to be donation-based questions because both Breanne and I will be commenting on any personal readings that are donation-based. And of course, you can also put general-based questions in donation in priority sequence. So basically, if there's quite a few donation questions, that basically takes up most of our broadcast. So again, donation-based questions put you in priority sequence. And again, for today, just for this episode, personal and general readings are allowed through donation-based questions. And of course, general readings are fine with free if we are running out of the donation-based questions. Okay, so hopefully that's clear for everybody. Let's go ahead and start off with some announcements. Okay, so Etherics right now, everything on Etherics is 45% off. So we just have a new inventory of the Taurus donut necklaces, okay? So those are charged with Radiate Regen, and I've also amplified the source center vibration frequency about 100 times into each of them so that they're even much more potent. So again, if I scroll down here, I think they're here somewhere. If I have to find them. We got so many of them up already. We got the Organite Pyramids here, of course. There we go. Yep, here's the Dornus necklaces. So these are in inventory more. I'm also going to be bringing back the Hand of Jupiter healing spheres. Okay, so that's in the works right now. It might take about a month or so for it to get here because it does take time to create them. But the Hand of Jupiter healing spheres are going to be coming. Okay, I should call them Hand of Jupiter manifestation spheres. So that's with the Hand of Jupiter gesture. It has an incredible amount of potent energy within it, and it really helps with manifestation and healing as well too. So that will be coming very soon. As the time gets closer, I'll be talking more about that as well. And of course, we go to Breanne's website here, readingswithbreanne.com. Breanne is also is updating her website, creating a brand new one as well. But again, everything here on readingswithbreanne.com is 20% off. So again, that is just for what, for the next 48 hours?
Yeah, we'll do it for the next 3 days.
Okay, for the next 3 days. So again, for 72 hours, it is a 20% discount. And again, Breanne does incredible sessions, your tarot reading, Kundalini healing, QHHT for people who are local in the lower mainland of BC, and of course Feng Shui. She also does crystal ball readings as well too. So again, go ahead and check out her website, get 20% off her sessions. Again, it's good for the next 72 hours. readingswithbreanne.com. And then, of course, wisdomtransmissions.com. Not only do I have a hit song, but of course you can go ahead and check out more of the private sessions, online courses, and more. Of course, I'm doing the full body scan. I'm doing the Akashic Records. This Friday, I'll also be doing another episode of the Akashic Intelligence Report. Doing the very first episode, it was very well received by so many people. So I'm going to be doing them every Friday. So this coming Friday will be the next episode of the Akashic Intelligence Report. Okay, so those are the announcements, everybody. And again, you can also download the free Radiate app. You just go to the Apple Store or you go to Google Play and you can download the free Radiate app right there. Some other news that I'm going to be telling, this is a little bit more down the road, but I'm going to be making a new Radiate app in the next few months. Radiate Focus. Okay, so I've talked about that before in the past, where it's really just focusing on one organ at a time. It'll have the same potency and strength as Radiate, but it's focusing on one organ at a time. And then down the road, this might be a year or so down the road, I'm going to be creating a VR experience for Radiate. It's going to be called Radiate Astral. Right? So if you have like a VR headset, you'll be able to go into Radiate Astral, and it's basically a digitized digital version of the astral plane. Right? You'll actually be able to start going into these healing realms. All of the symbols that will be contained inside the VR will have source-centered vibration, will have frequencies contained in it. It's something that never has been done before, ever in the history of humanity. So I'm going to be doing that. Nobody has ever done that. And I love to do things for the first time, so it feels good. So that is one of my big projects that I'm going to be working towards. Like I said, it could be a year, it could be 2 years. It's a lot of work to put together virtual reality engine games like that. I'll probably be working with the Unreal Engine on that. I'm actually starting to get a little bit better with the Unreal Engine.
He's been working very hard on that.
Yeah, because I'm using that for the Adept Chronicles, so that will be something else for the VR. So again, a lot of ideas coming. I'm also working on a new breathwork app right now called Breath Guru, right? So that is going to be available very soon as well too. There's going to be a lot of features on there. A miniaturized version of the trauma transcendence technique is going to be on there. A lot of the breathing techniques that I teach, and even more advanced breathing techniques that I have not taught yet, are going to be on that app, and you'll also be able to do guided meditations on it as well too. So it is called Breath Guru. So that will be coming soon, hopefully the next couple of months. I'm working on it right now. I'm basically just getting the development going for it. So Breath Guru, Radiate Focus, Radiate Astral, right? So there's a lot of things coming, so it's going to be awesome. All right, so why don't we go ahead and get started with today's questions. So I'm just going to go ahead and close off these other windows here. Okay, and we do have some donation-based questions already. I remember when I was just getting ready, I already saw some donation-based questions on the chat, so thank you for that, everybody. So I'm not having the text questions pulled up here on the screen. I'm just going to be reading them off as we go. Okay, so we have our first person here, who is Samar. Samar says, how can I improve my financial situation? Okay, so what I'm going to basically tell you first off the bat, Samar, is this. And it's not something where I really need to write anything down, because I'm basically going to do the Akashic Records. Breanne's going to do the Tarot, right? But I've told people about this, and this is the very important thing. If anything in your life has told you that you are a slave to your finances, that is the number one thing that is holding you back from your finances. So anybody who says you're not good at finances, you're basically struggling, you're fighting, maybe at some point you saw your parents struggle with finances, you saw people who are closest to you struggle with finances, you've adopted that. Right? So when you're looking at the idea of trying to improve your financial situation, you need to go back into your past and heal all of those problems that are telling you you are financially strapped, right? You're financially poor, right? You're financially unstable. All of those things, like I said, this is what we learn in trauma transcendence technique. All of those things are what's causing your finances to dwindle. Okay, that's the cause. The only time a person really is hard up for cash because they have no relationship with money. Relationship with money is dismal. There's hardly anything there, which means you see money up here while you're down here. That's the problem. And you will continue to go through life scraping the bottom of the barrel, just trying to get bits and pieces to survive because you have a bad relationship with finances. Okay? So this is why we want to go into something like the trauma transcendence technique, and you need to start working together with harmonizing your finances. Okay, so when you're saying, how can I improve my financial situation? External circumstances aren't the problem. It's you. Okay, there's nothing out here that represents something having a hold of you. And I'm talking about that in every form. There is no force that has a hold on you. There is no entity that has a force on you. There is no circumstance that has a hold on you. You are putting those holds on yourself, and they are manifesting themselves as clues to tell you exactly the type of insecurity that you have relating to something like finances. So you need to go into the trauma transcendence technique. You need to start doing the TTT. You need to start looking into your past. You need to start looking into your younger years. Was my mom and my dad, were they having problems with finances? If that's the case, you've inherited it, right? So this is really what it's coming down to, is to improve one's own finances, to improve one's own health, is to bring oneself into greater clarity. As I've always told you, my friends, it's always from in here. It's never out here. This is not the answer. This is the movie screen. This is you sitting in the theater. This is you watching your own show because you're the projector. The projector's coming through you, and you're seeing all these things, right? So to improve your financial situation is to make peace with problems with finances in your past.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Breanne, did you have something to share on that too?
Well, it's kind of brought me back to a session I actually just did the other day as well, and this lady also had a very similar situation where she's just consistently having trouble finding a job. She's applying, but she's just more or less, it's a belief system and a programming that she's built up, and she's in fear with it.
Yep.
So we went through we did her tarot reading and went through a meditation as well. And after she messaged me, she's like, 2 hours later, I got a job offer.
There you go, right? You see, that's it. So again, you just need clarity. And some people may not know exactly where they're feeling blocked, right? So Samara, if I'm looking at your situation about where you're feeling blocked pertaining to financial improvement or financial situation, right? Okay. There's a lot of parental background there, right? I can kind of feel like there's shackles of influence that are there. People have told you that you can't succeed. People have told you that you can't make money. People have told you that you're not going to do well, that you can't amount to anything, right? It's discouragement. And you basically have shackled yourself around that state of discouragement. So you could ignore everything that I say. Keep running around in the external and trying to make a breakthrough won't work, right? Even if you do pick up something here, at some particular point, it's going to cascade. The key, my friends, to your total liberation is an inner journey, right? It's taking out these shackles, and that's kind of like what I'm feeling here. It's just like shackles of discouragement, shackles of hurt, shackles of pain, shackles of people just completely bashing you into the ground, thinking that you cannot make ends meet, right? That you're never going to amount to anything, right? That you're not going to get to that type of height. It's all this particular type of external discouragement that we have brought into ourselves, and then it becomes internal discouragement. It becomes abuse. It becomes rejection, right? So we need to look into that and start to heal that altogether, right? And honey, what did you get?
So I pulled a couple cards for you here, and this is your blockage and then the call to action as well. So again, when we have that High Priestess, it does feel like, again, with that intuition, there's just built up traumas that need to be kind of addressed and looked at. But on another side too, what's really important is that you are taking action. Don't let those belief systems get in the way from you actually putting one step in front of the other and taking the action, because you do need to, as great, the key is absolutely, as Brad said, going into those states and clearing that out. But the next step is not just sitting there and expecting it to kind of fall in your lap. You do have to take those steps as well. So for you, it says here to make sure that you are moving forward and making those, stepping out of your comfort zone. That's a big one as well. Okay, so that's what the cards are saying here for you.
Great, excellent. Okay, so Samara, I hope that helps. Like I said, everything pertaining to our problems is internal, right? So you start healing that, you're going to start feeling a lot better. Please look into the Trauma Transcendence Technique. It is free, okay? It's on wisdomtransmissions.com. If you just go to the nav bar, you'll see free e-course. Click on free e-course, you sign up there, you get an email in the same day, all right? In 10 days of that, it's really going to help you out. I can't tell you how many people have already come to me and said they've already made a difference because of TTT.
I know, and as he was talking about, the temperance fell out, and that's just all about balance and harmonizing the self.
See? Tarot's
so there
backing
you
me
go.
up.
The tarot's like, yep.
Okay, great. Let's go ahead and move on to the next question here. This one here is from Ben, and I believe it's a political question from Germany. Okay. I don't follow German politics, guys, so I'll do what we can to answer. Dear Brad and Breanne, will the CDU form a coalition government with the conservative AfD in Germany or with one of the far left parties? I have no idea what you're talking about. Okay. But we'll take a look at that. I know Breanne was kind of looking at it prior before coming on air. So maybe I'll get her to start and then I can follow up. Because, like I said, guys, I hardly follow Canadian politics. Let alone that. I have little bits of information here and there that kind of float around. But when you're basically talking to me about CDU and coalition with AfD, you might as well be speaking Martian to me. Right? Go ahead, hon. Let's see what you get.
So I kind of pulled two different. I've got the up top here, the energy of them forming a coalition with the AfD and then versus the far left parties. And I almost get a bit of a no to both of them, which is interesting. So I'm not sure if there is another option. Again, sorry guys, I'm not super versed in this. But I do think there is some, let's say, communication with the AfD, but I don't necessarily see them forming a coalition here. And then in terms of the far left, I also got a pretty big no for that. So there is a lot of tough energies between both of these parties, and I feel like they are doing some collaboration or some communication with the AfD, but I still don't know if I see it becoming, I guess what you can call a full coalition with the AFD here.
What I will do is I'll kind of just take a look at the direction as a forecast with what is happening with Germany in regards to its government and what is happening ahead for it. I can't really speak to you in details about the parties because I don't really know their parties too well, but I'm really just giving you guys kind of an outlook of a forecast. It's kind of like looking at where the waves are pertaining to Germany and what is going to be happening with it over the next couple of months. Okay, so if we're looking at Germany here with its politics, okay, there's a people's movement that's going to come together. Now, there may be certain things that are coming together that people are not going to agree with, and it feels like there's a people's coalition that's starting to come together. It's basically the people that are standing up. It's the people that are speaking out. I feel like there's going to be a lot of disillusion with a lot of these particular party members or party establishments or organizations. Germany is going through a complete and total political re-infrastructuring. There's going to be a lot of ousting with a lot of the corrupt that have been in Germany and basically, you could say, messing around with the people's will. So I feel like there's a people's front or a people's party or a people-initiated organization that is going to work together quite prominently and basically imploding a lot of the framework and infrastructure of the German governments, or the German government, I should say. And I feel like this is going to happen with maybe a couple other surrounding countries as well, too, right? Maybe some other surrounding countries, particularly in Europe, a lot of this is going to happen. It's an ousting that's taking place. So I feel like we're going to see a lot of transformation, a lot of re-infrastructuring taking place, and a lot of implosion of the old systems. And sorry guys, I don't know the names of it. You have to forgive me, okay? But I know that this is just, natural. This is old hat to you, and that's fine. But again, I don't follow German politics, but that's my feeling. It feels like an uprising that's leading to re-infrastructuring and implosion and ousting of the old.
And that's exactly, I decided to pull a couple cards with what Brad was saying, and absolutely we've got that Seven of Wands where it feels like people are starting to stand up, and look at this, Three of Cups coming together.
Celebration. Yeah.
Strength. So the strength really is in the people and with them coming together.
That's it. Yeah, exactly. And like I said, we may see things on television, we may see things on the internet that are not too flattering, right? That seem very unsettling. Please don't take that in the crux of feeling that that's the be all and end all with the whole situation, because it's not. You're really looking at something that's really just on the surface. When you dig, you go deeper, and it's like I'm seeing here, Germany has a great time ahead for itself, especially over these next few months. As maybe we get into the summer, into the fall as well too, we're going to see some re-infrastructuring taking together. So like I said, people taking their power back. And this is exactly why these things happen. Like I said, in Canada, it's not so great with the politics here. It's not so great with the government here. It's terrible in that way, I would say. Germany's terrible. Australia's terrible, right? There's a lot of places that have terrible governments. Canada is one of the worst terrible ones, right? So it's all part of that re-infrastructure that's taking together. People are now getting behind, what really is the truth right now. So we're going to see that ahead, and it's inevitable, right? The people are going to lead the way. Yeah. Thank you very much, Ben, for your question. Let's go ahead and move down to Carol Ann. I believe it's Carol Ann has the next question. Okay, so, sorry, my thing's acting a little buggy here. Yeah. Okay, so this one's from Carol Ann. Hi, Breanne and Brad. When I was 14 or 15 years old, I used to see images of what looked like the old hag from what I Googled. That's nice. I was not sleeping when I see this. Very vivid to me. Clarity, please, on this. Okay, we have to understand that these things are manifestations, okay? Really, when you're looking at an old hag in that sense, or maybe an old crone. Maybe an old crone might sound a little better than an old hag. I don't know. I see this old bag, and she's like, blah, 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 and she's trying to hand me stuff. Okay, so anyways, whenever you see these particular, it's like the person where there's been an internet phenomenon where you say, have you dreamed of this man, right? You see kind of like a balding man and all that. And he basically represents an assortment of the collective consciousness, right? And you look at this particular type of woman, and she represents a certain brand, so to speak, of the collective consciousness. Now, that basically represents deterioration. If we're looking at the meaning pertaining to constantly seeing an old person, it's basically been someone who has been ravaged by time. It's been someone who's been ravaged by experience. And it feels like that is something that is trying to set itself upon your path. And like I said, it's kind of giving you the idea of a barometer. When that barometer comes up or comes down and feeling like we're down in the dumps, or if we're just starting our journey towards something new, there's kind of like that subconscious aspect that's coming through telling you it's not going to succeed, right? So whether if you look at that guy of Have You Dreamt of This Man, or the old crone in that sense, in that way, they're really just kind of messages in the bottle. Now, I can stay in fear and keep walking that path towards that particular type of aspect, or I can clear it out completely. What does this woman do to me? If I see an old guys, remember I've told about when I was going into the Delphi. I haven't gone into the Delphi yet. I'll have to work on that. But when I went into the Delphi to meet the Delphi themselves, I was intercepted by a type of witch. Right? It was a very scary witch as well too. Just like her eyes were just like bulging right out of her sockets. She was not a pleasant sight. Now, I could stay in that and be haunted by the idea of an unpleasant-looking witch that intercepted me when I was going into the inner earth, or I could heal that completely. Brad, does it bother you at all? Not at all, right? Because what I have learned to do is look at that and see what it does to me and heal it, right? So, Carol Ann, if that's something that's been happening to you 14 to 15 years old, and you're still looking at it and still causing you to not sleep, and feeling very vivid to you, now here's what you can do. Number one, you can be afraid of it and spend the rest of your days afraid of that. Or number two, you can come to terms with it, realize this is an image, this is an impression, how did it make me feel, right? What has it done to me emotionally? What traumas are coming up when I'm seeing that? Does it make me feel rejected? Does it make me feel abused? Does it make me feel abandoned? Does it make me feel like I want to run away? Right? If any of those are coming up, that's what you need to clear. So now when you see that old hag again, it does nothing to you, right? So basically it has completely dried up. You haven't been affected by it anymore because you've let it go. It's like my situation with the witch, right? I've had a couple of situations with witches as well too, right? And they've been horrifying. Like I've had demonic faces coming right in front of me, and you know what I've done? I kind of chuckled at it a little bit, like, okay, that's nice. That's a nice face you have, right? And that's it. And it's kind of like you're seeing compliment even out of a scary face. Oh, at least you have a face. That's nice, right? So you're learning to harmonize with these whole situations. And trauma transcendence technique helps you with that. So we can either be caught in the fear and be scared and worried about that, or you can heal it, because all it is just manifestations of a certain path, trying to bring you onto a certain path that causes excessive worry.
Yeah, and for you, I mean, I've got a lot of heavy energy with that, with the five of swords, 10 of swords, but then we have karma, which is also the judgment card, and it actually brings me a bit to a personal situation when this was years and years back when I seen this skeleton, sunken, scary looking man hovering over my bed, and there was a sense of too, like when you are working on yourself and you're putting yourself in higher states, then sometimes those subconscious beliefs and imprints, they kind of come back and try to pull you back down again. So a lot of what Brad said is that's exactly bang on. That's what I'm getting here. It's just about acknowledging it and kind of working around surrendering to it so it's not affecting you in that way. It's that karma, the judgment, evaluating it but not attaching and becoming, letting it bring you down into fear or a lower vibration here.
Yeah, it's even when you look at premonitions or you look at prophecy, even about yourself, that doesn't mean that that's the be-all, end-all, right? That's basically telling you of momentum, which means I can stay in fear of that, and if I stay in fear of that, then that particular prophecy can come about, or I can do something about it, and I can change. And if I change, then everything pertaining to that prophecy is nullified, right? So like I said, it's up to you. You have to remember, you have full control over everything that you go through in life. Sometimes we have to be aware. We have to kind of open our ears a little bit more, see and hear exactly what's coming through and what's happening around us. Clue in and get clarity so that we can see change. Okay, hang on a second. We got some bugs coming through here today. Okay, let me see if I can get back on there.
Are we off?
Yeah, no, we're fine.
Oh, okay. I know, it was happening to me when I was doing my lives. So for you guys who do join me on my lives, they'll probably be down here on Friday.
Okay, we just had a glitch in our live chat. That's actually the first time it's happened to me in a while, so Like I said, we're not really saying anything. I think that's, well, who knows? It depends. It depends not more so not just on us, but the people that's here as well too. So we're getting some hiccups in our live feed, so hopefully it'll be okay with you guys. So hopefully you can still hear us. Looks like everything's okay. All right, let's go up to the next question here. This one here is from Solstice. Solstice says, "Hi, Brad and Breanne. My mom's lease ends in August this year. Will she find a new place in the current neighborhood or elsewhere?" Okay, well, we have to kind of look into two examples of these.
I'm gonna look at them.
So let me see if there's firstly something within the current neighborhood of which she can go get involved into. Yeah, I feel like I'm not too sure if it's in her current neighborhood or how far stretched the neighborhood is, but I feel in her local neighborhood she'll have some opportunities of looking at places. Now I feel there'll be a bit of a dancing around. I feel that she may dance around a little bit and look at a few different places, but I think she'll find something within her neighborhood, so I don't think it's necessary for her to go beyond the neighborhood in that sense. It's within her local region, I would say, but I'm getting the feeling of a lot of dancing around, so there'll be some talking and conversations with several others, but I feel that she'll find a new place not too far away.
Yeah, I do have that as well. It looks like I see her staying in that local area, but as Brad says, there may be a little bit of a challenge in finding a place right away. So it may be just a little bit delayed, but I do see her ultimately.
There's dancing around.
Yeah,
So.
that's exactly it. I do see her ultimately being able to stay. There's a victory and her being able to stay in that neighborhood, especially if she's enjoying it. So yeah, it does look like that's a possibility for sure. It's just a little bit more delayed.
It won't happen right away.
Yeah.
She's going to have to talk to quite a few people. There's going to be quite a lot of decision making involved. So there is a bit of a delay period with that. So that could be a few days to a few weeks. It all depends. But I just kind of feel like the idea she'll be talking to quite a few other people. But she will find a place that will be good.
Yeah.
Maybe you're helping her out in that way. So maybe you can help to cut it back a little bit. Maybe get people to help her out and find some places that, kind of get the idea of what she likes and work with that a little bit more with her. Okay. So I feel it'll be all right. Okay, great. Let's move on to Maria. I think it is Maria. Oh, Maria says, "Love the music and show." Okay, great. I'm not sure if it's the same Maria. I think we have two Marias here. So Maria, I got your donation. Thank you. But I don't see a question from you, so maybe I'll see it when it comes down further. Okay. Crystal Princess just says, "Can I have a general..." I guess you're just saying, "Can I have a general reading?" Okay. Yeah. Crystal Princess, we don't like doing that. Okay. I know you guys want a general, but that's not what this is. This is not a private session, my friends, okay? Please make sure that you have a specific question in mind. Because if we have a general reading with you, that's probably going to take like a half hour, okay? Sorry, guys, we cannot do general readings, right? If you want to have something personal, you have to mention exactly the type of topic. Otherwise, we're going through your lists. Okay, how's your career? How's your business? How's your family? How's this? How's that? No, we're not doing that, okay? So please make sure that, Crystal, I have to kind of put you on pause right now. Please make sure you have a specific topic that you want to discuss, because we're really doing mini readings here. If we did a general reading for you, it's definitely going to take about a half hour. So we don't have that kind of time. I appreciate the donation, but maybe you can update us in the comments and just let us know what specific topic you want to look into. So please, people, do not ask us for general readings. It's just going to take too long. And we only have so much time together, okay? I've said this in previous webcasts. Please make sure you do that. It's just a little bit more courteous. I appreciate it. Okay, let's go down for a bit further. Okay, so I think a believer... Okay, here we go. So a believer has a question here for Breanne. Breanne, can you advise on my son's future job relationship? I'm having terrible dreams at the moment, which I can't fully remember or understand. Okay, so again, guys, let's try and keep it to a single topic. I know you guys have a lot of questions. That's why you get a reading. That's why you get a session. Okay. So how about we just look and see whatever the cards come up with. Okay. And like I said, I want to try and save some time with questions because there's other people that do have questions. And if we look so deeply into your situation, it's going to take a long time. So let's just try to keep them single question based and single topic based if we can. I'd appreciate that. Okay. Thank you.
So for For your son, in terms of finding a new job, there is quite a bit of conflict happening here. But again, for you personally, trying to not get so involved in his journey. I mean, I know we all love our children and we want the best for them, but they have their own path and their own decisions as well. I do see him being able to, look at getting a job here, but there are going to be some hiccups in the way. We do have a lot of conflict. I think there's a lot of mental conflict and just stuff built up inside about his current belief system. So he really needs to kind of look at that and look at, again, surrendering what is really holding him back here, because he's kind of he's getting in his own way from what it looks like, and there's just a lot of noise happening internally. So he very much has possibilities coming in, but he's kind of self-sabotaging that. So not to say he's not going to have a successful ending here and be able to get a job, but he needs to look internally at what is really the blockage, because again, it doesn't come from the external, it's coming from within. So there's some stuff happening with inside him here. But yeah, it does look back. The deck is the Knight of Wands, so there is something coming, but it might be a little bit of a hiccup and a roller coaster for him here is what it looks like.
Like I said, the best thing you can do is just bring him love, bring him compassion, support him in every given way that you can. But please understand that even if they're your children, they still have their own life to live. You're not in charge of their life. You do not own them, okay? And that's something I've had to try and explain to many parents over the years as well, too. I want my son to be this, not your job. I want my son to be like this, not your job. Not your responsibility, not your work. Why not? He's my son. Yes, he's your son, but he's not your property. You have no say over the direction of his life at all, ever. And I probably never hear from that person again, but
that is one of the most common questions I get is individuals like moms and fathers and asking about their children because they're concerned. And it's like, well, I mean, you can send them unconditional love and be there to support them, but they still have their own path.
You have to that's like no more different than your parents thinking that they have ownership of you and thinking that they're in control of your life. They want you to run their business. They want you to be part of this family tradition, and you don't want to. You want to go and you want to explore yourself. So put yourself in that situation and then look at your children, right? They are not your property. They do not belong to you, right? You are the carrier. You are the caregiver of themselves. You helped to bring them into the world. That's wonderful. You gave them a wonderful gift, bringing them into the world. Please remember, they are not your responsibility. I know you have so much love for them and you want to do well, but if you are worrying about them, that's not love. That is attachment. Attachment is not love. So where there's love in saying that I just want to give love and compassion to my son, whatever he decides to do, or my daughter, whatever she decides to do in life, I have my full love and compassion for him. And I just want to continue to support them. Support them, absolutely, but don't control them. That's the most important thing, okay? And I've talked to people like that. I've lost count. Hundreds of people like that, and they've even got mad at me. How can you say that? They're my children and stuff. I say, they're your children, but they don't belong to you, right? They are souls, just as you are. Your parents are caregivers. Your parents are facilitators. They help to bring you into the world, but they do not own you. That's something you have to understand. So I've got people pissed at me from saying that, but guys, I'm just telling you the truth. That's just how it is. I have kids myself. I don't own my kids. Breanne has a daughter. She doesn't own her daughter, right? So like I said, you have to be aware of these things, not thinking that you have to control everything. And that's something we need to release through trauma transcendence technique. That's why it's there. That's why it's free.
Be at peace with their decisions.
Exactly. So we got an update here from Crystal Princess. So thank you, Crystal Princess, for giving us an update. Like I said, we're happy to do sessions with you, but we just have to kind of keep it short because we have other people in the wings here. Okay, for a question, my landlord had just passed away, and I've been worried about having to move. Do you see me moving with my boyfriend, or is it not working out? Okay, so let's take a look firstly, and I guess I'll start, and Breanne, you can follow up. So looking at Crystal Princess pertaining to her having to move with her boyfriend. Okay, so let's take a look here. I think that you have quite a few options. I think maybe there's the option if you want to stay where you are. Maybe there's some sort of resolve that may come to where you presently are. If you do decide that it's time to up and leave, then I feel like there may be some support with your boyfriend. I think there may be some support with family and friends as well too. I'm seeing quite a few options that you have, so nothing is really deadlocked to a dead end. there's olive branches extending here, right? So it could be the opportunity for something new to happen where you currently are, and I feel like maybe there could be the opportunity with moving with your boyfriend. I feel like there's family and friends as well too that have associations. So I'm feeling like an olive branch is extending out here for you. So you're not in a dead end situation from what I can see.
Yes, and the tarot is absolutely confirming that. So you can see with that Nine of Swords in the middle, I can see that you're quite anxious about this. But
That's the obstacle.
Yeah, if you wanted to stay where you are, I do see you having that opportunity. But it also shows a window of opportunity to go and also move in with your boyfriend here too. So I do see both options available, or that, like Brad said, there's multiple other options. You have the Fool, so you're not at all stuck. There's nothing coming up saying there's going to be anything catastrophic from what I can see. It's really up to you how you want to choose to move forward, because I can see you going in multiple different directions here.
Yeah. So like I said, you have options. You're not stranded. So just be aware of that. So yeah, I think that'll be fun.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to, I think we're done with our donation-based questions for now, unless there's other ones that will pop up. Let's go ahead and look at some of the free questions here. Okay, so we have another government-based question here. So greetings, Brad. I guess this is for me. Who is funding the corrupt South African government, and do you see a life for us in the tunnel, or is it just another oncoming train? So basically, there's people, basically what I could say is the wealthy families. I'm not going to use any particular names. South Africa, because I've been there, and I've known that this time has come, especially now since it's been, I was there in 2019, now it's 2025, so it's basically coming up on 6 years. I knew that South Africa would be going through a major struggle when I was there. I could see it. I was in Johannesburg, and I was getting visions. I was getting people outraged. I was seeing people getting angry. But I also saw people celebrating, right? So let's take a look at South Africa. And the idea is you're asking about if there's going to be light at the end of the tunnel, or is it just another oncoming train, right? That's an interesting way to look at it. Okay, so let's take a look here with South Africa. You're basically meant to get mad on purpose. Okay, it's all part of this. This is all part of you just basically feeling that the government's screwing you around, and feeling that the corruption is never going to end. Is it ever going to end? It's piling up in that way. It's supposed to, my friends. The entire continent of Africa has been screwed around for thousands and thousands and thousands of years. You guys have piles of manure to look at, right? And I'm sorry to say that, but Africa is probably one of the most corrupt continents on the face of the planet, okay? If you're looking at where a lot of the nests are, right, of course we have Ukraine, but if we look at Africa in regards to the motherland, she has gone through so much bullshit, more than any other land on the planet, okay? She is filled with corruption, right? And this is why, especially in South Africa as well too, right? There's a lot of stuff. There's people living in, I wouldn't call them shacks, but basically just having, in the blazing heat, having these little structures here that they build, these shelters, where they're just melting from the heat. And I've been to their townships as well too. And there are people, there's such a union of people is the wonderful thing. And like I said, I feel like this is going to lead to revolution, okay? South Africa is going to go through revolution. And you need to go through revolution. Because if you don't, you're just going to see more and more piles of crap. So everything that's happening right now is leading towards revolution. South Africa is going to be booting people out. Is there light at the end of the tunnel? You already see it. Maybe a little bit in the distance. But like I said, with people in Africa, just in Africa in general, just with the continent in general, you guys have a little bit more of a trek. Because you have been screwed around with for thousands of years, right? And if we've looked into the idea of slavery, if we looked into the idea of encampments, if we looked into the idea of how people have just been murdered and brutalized and harmed in so many different ways, Africa is the capital of that, okay? And I don't like to say that, but that's the truth, right? You guys have been meddled with and screwed around with and debauched in so many different ways for thousands of years. And you have piles of manure to look at. And what's attempting to happen here with South Africa is revolution, okay? And I do feel like that's happening, but there's still going to be runarounds. There's still a lot more piles of manure that you have to look at first. And it's going to piss a lot of you off, and I get that. But that's exactly what it's supposed to do. It's trying to light a fire under you, to say revolution is coming. South Africa, I would say even in the future, is probably going to be an independent state. I think there's going to be a lot of independency that's going to come to South Africa because you've had enough with leaders constantly bullying you, not fulfilling their promises, constantly throwing more pieces of manure at all of you, right? And you're ready to boot them out, and I feel like there's going to be a liberation, because that's what I was feeling even when I was in Johannesburg. I just feel that people are going to be running things. People are going to be running things in South Africa. It's going to be a huge revolution, but my God, it's like trying to peel your skin off and put a new skin on. It's going to be excruciating, but it's going to happen, right? So is there a light at the end of the tunnel? The light's already there, but you got quite a bit of trudging to do because you got to look at more piles of manure before it ends, right? I don't know about you.
I think you said that very well. I mean, when I pulled the tarot on this too, when I was partying the cards, I had the Ace of Pentacles and the Justice as well. But yes, like you said, there is light shining through already, and that is to light that fire under the butts here. Mm-hmm. But I do see it being still quite a bit of, it's gonna take some time. It's not gonna be overnight here because this is a bit of a delayed energy, but breakthroughs for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Africa, like I said, out of all continents, out of all land masses, Africa unfortunately has been meddled with the most, because if you're looking at mineral-rich lands, it's Africa, right? Africa has everything. Guys, I mean, if you have not been to South Africa, you're missing out. There's gold everywhere. There's fossils everywhere. The land is so rich. Like, I mean, people, you're able just to walk around, you see particles of gold all around you. Africa is filled with gold, right? And so this has been an entire landmass that is still done. This is exactly why it's called the motherland. It's the mother of giving, right? She constantly gives in the land of Africa, and she has been pillaged, and she has been raped, and she has been molested, and she has been war-torn. The people upon her has basically gone into poverty, even though there's gold all around you. There's these priceless fossils that are around you. You have fossils of giants all around you. You have fossils of dinosaurs all around you. You have fossils of these incredible creatures that have been preserved in fossilization. I was working with Michael Tallinger, and I got to see all of these things. Not only are we seeing the giant footprint, we're seeing a giant's heart stay right there. Basically, a giant that could be well over 100 feet tall, right? We're looking at dinosaurs. We're looking at dinosaur fossils. We're looking at everything. Africa is insane. It is insane of how much wealth is spread out all around you, right? And it's being neglected. I'm like, how can these people not acknowledge what's around them? Look at all this stuff. This is like a dream, like just being able to have this exploration. I can see why Michael Tallinger is in South Africa. He's having a blast. So I asked him, I said, well, Michael, why are you here? Like, did you feel like going? He was, oh, Brad, I won't leave. I'm not going to leave South Africa. There's so much here. I'm like, yeah, I know. It's amazing what's here. So I was amazed by South Africa and just seeing everything that was there. We went on safari. We went to see, again, these giant footprints. We have like a giant heart that's just sitting there. It's a fossilized giant's heart, basically ripped out of the giant's chest and put right next to the footprint. It's fossilized. It's a fossilized heart. There's tissue in the fossil of a heart from a 100-foot tall giant. You figure it out. You do the math, right? So like I said, everybody, that's South Africa for you. I've been there. I know what that's like, and I've seen all these fossils. There's dinosaur fossils everywhere. It's rich. It's such a rich land. But why is there so much poverty with the people when this is the richest land of resources and of ancient history? You want to know, and we hear about our beginnings when you go to Adam's calendar. Adam's calendar, you have the Anunnaki there, the true Anunnaki, not the imposter ones, right? They're ones who are basically the maidens that came in and started to bring in the first settlement of humankind in Africa through Adam's calendar. The ancient Stonehenge. I mean, come on, guys. If you have not seen that, you are missing out, right? Maybe I'll have to do another South Africa tour in the next few years. We'll see. But you guys are missing out on stuff if you're not there. It's amazing. It's a rich land. There's gold all over the place. And like, yeah, we're driving by and we're seeing like particles of gold everywhere. Like, what the hell? Why are people poor when there's gold everywhere? There's all this stuff everywhere. Everybody here could be billionaires. But they don't, because they have such corrupt lawmakers. You have people that are beyond corrupt, and that's all because of the rich families, right? So it's time to make a revolution. It's time to change. All right,
Wow.
so there you go. See, it helps to be a world traveler. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at the next one here. Okay, so here's one from Adronis. Here's the first Adronis question today. Hi, Adronis. Do larger scale protests like Freedom Convoy still make sense for a greater unification of people, or people have to adopt different strategies, ideas, and orders to do that? Okay, 1 minute. First Adronis question, so I'll bring it in. Here we go. Terra Soul Star Sirius Adronis. We thank you very much for the opportunity of this interaction today. I am Adronis of Sirius, sending love, appreciation, and gratitude to all who are tuning into this broadcast through your internet collective consciousness. We thank you for your question pertaining to the nature of what you have termed as the freedom convoys. And is this the way to go to bring about revolution upon your planet? Well, no, not really. Because you have to understand that the same thing does not happen twice. There is no identicalness. Even if you're taking an idea from somewhere, you're still giving it a new approach. And it's not up to one of you that comes up with these ideas. It's up to the collective. The collective is telling you, based upon how all of you are oriented, what works pertaining to the idea of powerful revolution. It is not the idea of thinking that this is the blueprint, this is what we need to do, this is what it's all about. Now, you may take facets from that blueprint and you may apply it all together in regards to your own appropriate land to bring about a shakeup. But really what's going to happen is actually the lack of action and the intensification of imposition, where you're feeling that this is being imposed upon you, whereas the feeling in that sense that you're getting oppression. The oppression, in a way, really is the freedom convoy, because it's lighting a fire under so many of you that really all you're thinking of is how to stand up against it. And it's already done its work. So this is why the fire is raging. This is why there is intensification of these oppressive situations unfolding on your planet, because it's going to wake you up. You can't be woken up any other way, because we've told you how humans work. Humans will dance right on the edge of the precipice before they teeter and hit an incredible, powerful, divine moment that brings them back to the center. That's what many of you are going through country by country, is you're teetering. You're teetering on the edge and you're balancing on one foot, then you're balancing on one toe. And before you fall over, a great powerful force within grabs a hold of you. And you now start to make a revolution. And that's what's happening, which means revolution comes in many different forms. It can come through the idea of simple education. It can come through the idea of working together through a freedom convoy. It could be through the idea of a farmer's convoy, like what you have also experienced. It's also coming through the idea of people getting together and banging pots and pans near their own legislature so no one can work. So again, the attention of the people is prominent. There are so many opportunities that represent revolution, whether it's simple or whether it's more sophisticated. But it's not up to one person to decide. It always manifests itself through the nature of collective intent. So Freedom Convoy was appropriate for Canada, because you notice that other countries were trying it and it did not go anywhere near as powerful of what happened in Canada, because that was the fit for Canada. And again, others will have other particular forms of collective intent that are being manifested as a counterforce to the oppression. You'll see it, just as the examples we have given. So again, it can be very simple, very, very easy to understand, or it could be quite sophisticated. And again, as this demonstration starts to happen, more and more people can convene because they can relate to the oppression, and they therefore relate to the revolution. The revolution is not about violence. It's about the idea of turning over, of moving yourself into a greater expansion, of waking up and taking action appropriately through the collective intent to make a difference, to stand up and to take charge. We are telling you that your year of 2025 is leading to the death of the corrupt, because this is a year of endings. When you move forward from 2026 onward, right to the end of 2030, you're watching all of them being expunged completely. So that by 2030, there will hardly be any particular form of corruption left on your planet. It will be gone through the majority of countries on your planet. By 2030, majority of it gone. Be aware of that. This is giving you the idea of the next 5 or so years that are coming to giving you the impression there's going to be a lot happening within those next 5 or so years that are going to bring about a powerful revolution worldwide on this planet, because you're living through it right now. This is all part of the phase. This is you coming into a year of endings. The endings are going to be intense, but as you shift near the closer part to the end of the year, you're going to see that answers have come and action has been applied and new change is afoot. All right? We thank you very much for your question. One moment, please. Okay. Great. There we go. Great question there. Thank you very much. EUN142. Let's go ahead and move on. I don't think we have any other donation-based questions. This one here is from Demi. Can I ask about the Orion Black League? Not a personal, just a general question. If you have time, no biggie. Let's go ahead and take a look at the Orion Black League. They're not really something but represent an intrusive force, right? The very fact that you're aware of them really comes much more from, I would say, a smaller type of expression of finding out that they exist. But they have no power struggle upon the planet whatsoever. They have really no stroke, right? It really would deal with something pertaining to a very, 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 very tiny minority of individuals. When you're looking at the Orion Black League, it is nothing that holds a great power upon the planet. So rather, I would say it's almost like it's completely appropriate even if you forget about them, because they don't really have any power over you. No one really does. And the idea of a Black League here in that sense is like a particle or a grain of sand on the beach, right? That's really the whole idea of the stroke that they have. They have no real stroke upon this planet. Maybe they're made aware of, but they don't have any fortification here. They don't have a flag that they've popped on the ground and say, hey, here we go, we're the Orion Black League. Their presence is very minuscule. So you just have to ask yourself, do I want to associate with something like that, or can I let it go and forget about it and start living my life in a much more of a prosperous way? Right? That's how I can see with that. All right, let's go ahead and move on. Okay, this one I think would be okay because this could be general for other people. And I think Maria had a donation previously, so Maria, I'll consider this a donation-based question. So Breanne, you can start off with this one. Maria says, how can I detox and improve my digestive system? I'm eating healthy, using Radiate, and I'm doing the white light breath technique, since you showed for us for 30 minutes a day. Very good. That's good to hear. All right, so I'll let Breanne start, then I'll follow up.
The energy that I'm getting for you is that your work is working here, okay? There's just sometimes it takes a little bit of time for the body to really go through certain processes is what it looks like. But it looks like if you continue to do what you're doing, you are bringing more, let's say, unity and balance back into your system, because we absolutely have that past, present, and future. So keep doing what you're doing. Like, it looks like you're on the right track, especially if you're doing these practices daily. Very key. You know, it's not really just a one time and you're done. This is consistently working with these techniques, but I absolutely see this working for you. Just so keep on that track. Even if you feel like right now, if there's a little bit of a sense of, is this working? Like, no, yes, it is.
Mhm.
Is I do see it working here. It's just your body's just taking a bit of time to recover and heal.
Yeah, I mean, the whole idea is that we want instant gratification as soon as we do this work. Okay, I'm eating healthy. Okay, how long have you been doing it? Oh, about a week. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm doing the white light breath. Okay, how long have you been doing it? Oh, I've been doing about a half hour a day for a few days. That's good, and I'm glad you're doing that, but you're not giving it enough time.
Yeah.
My friends, here's the thing. When you start working with the light breath technique, 6 months worth of it every day. Okay? When you start eating healthy, at least 6 months, I would say 6 months to a year, okay, to get yourself back on your feet. Now, you're not only eating for the state of your diet, you're eating to cleanse. You have to cleanse out your body. So one of the things that many of us have are toxic liver, and I see that quite a bit in a lot of the full body scans that I do, is that people's livers are not up to snuff, right? Because they're toxic. Okay, so there's quite a few different signs. If we're gassy, if we're bloated, certainly I've had that as well too, right? If we're noticing that there's a lot of bags around the eyes, if the skin feels pretty pale, if it's kind of clammy in that way, these are all signs that we have a toxic liver, okay? So one of the best things to do, I'd say a couple of different things to do, is number 1, milk thistle. Number 2, dandelion root, okay? These are really good. Number 3, ashwagandha. Number 4, licorice root. Okay, these are very, very powerful and potent tinctures, which tinctures or powder or supplements, whatever it may be, or even just some of the organic content itself that maybe you put into a smoothie. Extremely beneficial. Okay, so that is what you want to do. You're eating to cleanse. This is not to fulfill diet. Diet's important, of course, but there's diet and then there's cleansing. Okay, so you're eating for a diet, but you're also eating to cleanse. Okay, I believe in the medical medium was even talking about that as well too. You want fresh, living, vitality superfoods. Okay, so when you're looking at milk thistle, when you're looking at dandelion root, when you're looking at ashwagandha, when you're looking at all these different things that are purging you out, it's not about I took them, once a day for a week. Not enough. A year, 1 year. Okay, so at least many other experts will tell you 3 years. Okay, so but if you start working with white light breath daily for about that 6-month period, you're making a bit of a shortcut. Because really the problem is with the body is not so much of the physical side. The physical side, again, has some importance. But the reason why you're struggling is because of your emotional and mental body. Okay? When your emotional and mental body is impaired, your body loses voltage. This is scientifically proven. So, when your body loses voltage, your body cannot function in the way it is. It's kind of like if you're looking at yourself as a young teenager and you got all this energy, you're still fresh to the world, you don't have all these problems, and then you start getting older, and now you go through marriage, and now you have kids, and now you're working 9 to 5, and you're trying to do all this, and you're trying to make ends meet, and the pressure of the emotional and mental states of yourself is so unbelievably intense, your body starts to lose traction with its energy. A lot of people will say, oh, when you get 25, 26 years old, your muscles just start to give up and you start to get flabby and stuff like that. Well, that's not the problem, actually. When you're 25 and 26, you have been exposed to a toxic world so much that your body starts to give into it. Which means if you're able to maintain that state of vitality and health and wellness and love and compassion that you felt when you were younger, you will live well up into your 50s and 60s without a single problem at all, right? So the key here is, yes, physical diet is important, cleansing to eat, minerals, okay, getting minerals in your body, mineralization is very important, but the most important is emotional and mental vitality. And that is what's draining your system. That's what's causing the cells to basically start to decline. They start to deteriorate because there's not enough voltage in your body. You are mentally and emotionally deprived, right? You're just constantly wearing these weights on top of yourself that are emotional and mental. And this is scientifically proven because we can look at it with scalar. We can look at it with biofeedback. We can look at it with resonant dowsing. We can look at all of these different things. We can look at it with simple voltage and saying that there's not enough millivoltages within your body. Guys, how much millivoltage is required for cancer to flow through your body? Do any of you know? Under 30 millivolts. Okay? The 30 millivolt ceiling is cancer. Okay? Guess what happens with many of you? On average, you're about 15 to 20 millivolts on average. I'd say the majority of the planet is at 15 to 20 millivolts, give or take. And that is making you completely and totally exposed to the gradient of all of these viruses, of all of this fungus, because cancer really is just a fungus. Okay? Fungus thrives at 30 millivolts. When you are using Radiate daily, we are boosting your cells from 60 to 90 millivolts, which means this is what's happening. Radiate's not curing you, okay? Radiate is charging you. When Radiate is charged, it's like I'm doing right here. I'm running Radiate right on my chest, okay? It's charging me up. So it's charging you up, and your body itself is what's self-healing. Okay? Your body has the power to heal itself. I don't need to do anything to your body pertaining to healing. All I'm doing is I'm giving you charge. When I'm working with you with a full body scan and the source healing, when I'm working with you with the energy cord attunement, I'm cutting away old cords because this is what's causing a ruckus within your body, preventing it from healing properly. Okay? So yes, we want to eat well. Yes, we want to eat to cleanse. Yes, we want mineralization. Yes, we want to take care of the physical. But the most important thing that you have to take care of is your emotional and mental body, because if you don't, there is your voltage. It doesn't matter if you're a super athletic woman or a super athletic man, you're still down here. Okay? You having muscles and a six-pack doesn't mean you're healthy. Okay? I've scanned people who are in great shape, who have abs, they're in good shape, they got all these muscles, and they're worse off than people who are obese because they're completely straining their minerals. They have hardly any mineral intake within your body. Their organs are being pushed, and they're not replenishing their body properly. People who are athletically fit, you are worse off than people who are obese. And that's what I've discovered. I've seen that with quite a few people who have been really fit, they're in really good shape, but their liver is crap and their stomach is garbage. And they're basically just being debilitated all the time because they don't put enough minerals in their body. All they think is protein, protein, protein. Guys, proteins doesn't mean shit. Okay? It's minerals. Minerals is what matters. You need to mineralize your body, right? Take your electrolytes, right? Start working with the Baja Gold sea salt, as I talk about, right? I'm a bit of a flabby guy, but when I've looked at my own scans compared to others who are actually muscular and fit, I'm in better shape than they are. Isn't that interesting?
It was a big eye-opener working with the BioWell, and you have these people coming in, you're like, wow,
they're in great shape.
In great shape. They're going to pass.
But then you get like
colors.
shocked. You get shocked
then,
what you find.
You absolutely. And even that's so key, because even just quickly, like personally for me in the past years, my emotional state was all over the place, and I was consistently getting sick. My appendix was burst, my gallbladder, I was always getting colds and pneumonia. And now everything is so much more balanced.
Yes.
I don't get sick anymore. Not to say I never will, that still could happen, but I'm just saying, like, I'm more healthier now.
Yes. And the key is, like I said, is your emotional and mental balancing, right?
Yeah.
Learning to surrender is the greatest health option that you can give yourself. Guys, why do you think I've made the trauma transcendence technique free? Why do you think I almost kind of like hassle you guys to go ahead and start doing it? And a lot of you are, and I'm very happy that you guys are, and you guys are showing me results, and that's wonderful, but not a lot of you are, right? And you think it's just about diet. I gotta munch on some watermelon, I gotta munch on some pineapple and stuff like that. Okay, that'll help to an extent, but that's not gonna get you out of your funk. Okay? Your body is low voltage, and because it's low voltage, you are emotionally and mentally strained, and that strain's got to go. If you want to really look at yourself as a pure longevity human being, you got to work on the mental and emotional bodies first, and then start working with the physical and building it up. Right? So important. So many people are impaired because of mental and emotional degradation. Low voltage needs to change. That's the key. And this is what I've discovered, guys, through research, through organic research. Not just something I've read a paper, oh, this guy says this. No, I've actually done it and seen it, right? And that's the most important thing, is through hands-on experience, right? Okay, let's go ahead. We have another donation-based question here. This is from Octorus Light. I just got a like here. Let me see if Octorus Light's question is down here. Okay, here we go. Hi, Brad. Do you know if the harmful... okay, careful. Careful, guys. I know what you're trying to say. Do you know if the harmful poke agenda for newborns will be dismantled soon? I believe RFK is leading that effort. Yes, yes. So you're pretty much on track already. Any time frame, 2-3 years, maybe. Okay. I know that there's things that are happening right now, but there's going to lead to more research. It's kind of like there's counter research on top of bogus research that needs to happen. Okay. So if I'm kind of looking at the idea of that agenda, okay. Remember, guys, we're on YouTube, censorship, okay. So I'm going to look into that, just about any time frame in regards to its dissolvement or reforming of it altogether. Yeah, I'm getting 2 to 3 years. Okay, so it's going to take some time because not only are they basically pointing this out, they have to look at the evidence, right? And there's going to be there's a lot of paper trails that they have to follow. There's some red tape there. There's courts that are going to be involved and legalities in that way. But in the next couple of years, that type of agenda is going to be rendered obsolete. And then I realized that it was basically all part of an agenda. There's going to be more exposures coming about. So that does take time. So I love to say 3 to 6 months, but no, it's going to be longer than that, about 2 to 3 years. Okay, but it's not just for that particular age group. It's for everybody. Everybody who has taken that needs to know exactly. Those ones who have received the toxic ones, they need to see exactly, what that was all about. So that needs to happen for everybody. I'm not talking about age groups here. I'm talking about the whole who have gone through that agenda, and within the next 2 to 3 years, I'm feeling. That will take care of it. Okay. So it needs to take time, but it will happen, yes. Most definitely will happen. Okay. So again, guys, if you want personal questions, you have to leave donations, okay?
For healing, healing market.
So yeah, healing market, yes. So what's the salt you mentioned? So it's called Baja Gold Sea Salt, okay? So that's BAJA, Baja, like Baja, California. Right, Baja Gold Sea Salt, gold, Gold. Baja Gold Sea Salt, you can get that on Amazon. We have a bag here.
We use it every day.
Use it every day, and it really helps because you're getting mineralization. The reason why that sea salt is so good is because it's the most minerally rich, minerally dense sea salt on the market. It's better than anything else, right? So it contains the most minerals in it. And we put that on our food. I even put some on my tongue and I drink it down, just like I tell people to do it. And especially for people who are starving with minerals, I'd say do that about 4 times a day. If you're pretty good with minerals, once or twice a day is really all you need. But if you're starving for minerals, which means that you just have no energy, you're drained all the time, you have really no vitality flowing through you, 4 times a day, right? Just putting that on your tongue, drink some water down with it 4 times a day. And that will really, really help you because its richness of magnesium hydrates your cells. So with all of the magnesium content contained within the salt, that bonds together with your cells, and your cells now start to get hydrated. And with the hydration of cells, hydrated cells equals high voltage. Okay? So if you have hydrated cells, they're getting all the hydration through the minerals that they need, and they will become supergiants to basically beat the crap out of all viruses and pathogens in your body. They will take them out. Your white blood cells turn into like these hulks, right? Because you're hydrating yourself with minerals. So you want that Baja Gold Sea Salt together with water. Again, if you're very much deplenished with minerals, please take about 4 of those per day. Just take a pinch of salt, put it on your tongue, drink it down with water. Do it again, do it again, do it again, 4 times a day, okay? Start doing that over the next couple months. I would say next couple of months because you want to give it some time. Then your body starts to get charged. Now again, are you doing trauma transcendence technique? Are you clearing out your emotional and mental fallacies here? You're clearing all of them out. Your body is now starting to take down all of these barricades and hurdles relating to blocked stagnancy. My friends, you are a prana body. You are an energy body. And if your body is getting completely and totally bloated and inflamed by all of these emotional and traumatic states, the energy has nowhere to go. It's blocked. When that energy is blocked, you will have sickness. Sickness is caused by an ill mental and emotional body. It is not caused by anything physical. Okay? Physical is the result. It's the end of the vortex. Okay? The vortex starts here. Here's your mental body. Here's your emotional body. Here's your astral body. Here's your transient body. Here's your physical body. Physical body is the last ticket on the ride. So when it's getting sick, it's because all these other subtle bodies are sick. That's why your physical body is sick, because all your subtle bodies are sick. This is exactly what many of the ancient masters, how we look at Ayurveda, how we look at traditional Chinese medicine, they're all about spirituality. They're all about taking care of the subtle body. They're all about breath work. They're all about working with these postures and forms, yoga, Tai Chi, Qigong, right? And I've done all of them and they work, right? And you do it over the span of a couple of years. But again, you can have shortcuts because you're using something like the white light breath and you're using trauma transcendence technique. And those are the two techniques that I share because they're free. They're free, my friends. I'm not telling you to empty your wallets out to use trauma transcendence technique or the white light breath. They're on my YouTube channel here. They're on Wisdom Transmissions and they're free. Please use them. Take advantage because every single person should know this. This needs to be as common to know that there's a sun in the sky and that there's a moon in the sky and that you're on the planet Earth. And I do trauma transcendence technique when I'm feeling ill, right? That's what I'm trying to do. But like I said, I need support along the way to do it.
Yeah.
Right? So that's why it's free. Please take advantage of it. Okay. We're almost out of time here. So let me just take a look and see if there is any one last question. Elena just says magnesium with potassium and trade minerals. Very important to be consistent. All of that is in the Baja Gold Sea Salt. Look into the idea of all the particular minerals that are contained in that. You have magnesium, you have potassium, you have iron, you have phosphate, you have all of those. Get the bag and you'll see it, okay? But I'm not talking about potassium. I'm talking about magnesium specifically because magnesium is a water-hungry molecule. And when it goes into your cells, that is what's responsible for the hydration, not the potassium, the magnesium, right? So the magnesium is the catalyst to enabling the cells themselves to be hydrated. That's why I talk about magnesium over potassium. Potassium is important as well too because it does function as a catalyst, but it's the magnesium in the mineral that actually helps with the hydration of the cells. That's why it's brought up. Okay. All right, let's go to if there's any other last questions here. I think I may have missed one. Let me see. Okay, we've already taken care of that one. I think we're at the top here. Okay. Yeah, we got through that one. Canada's government is brutal. Okay. So here's one here. I'm not too sure about the question, but we'll see what we can do. So, Breanne, is the blue crystal under a sea called Siljan in the middle of Sweden after a meteorite fall? We have to look into that with a little bit more specificity, my friend. I don't even know what a Siljan is. Okay. So we need to look into that. I can't really answer that question right now. It's just lack of translation.
I did just post a video. I posted a video in Australia, and there was something interesting I seen on the crystal ball of Australia. So you can go take a look at that video. But I was seeing like a golden light underneath the water, and there's something.
Because I've never heard of anything like that. So.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but this is what I see in the crystal ball for. It was more in the seas around Australia though when I was looking into that. So kind of interesting. You guys can check that out. I'm not sure if that's at all related to the question you're asking, but
I mean, just for reference, there's a lot of meteorites that fall. Like I mean, basically, if we were looking at the idea of moldavite was originally discovered in Russia, and it came from a meteorite, right? And that's one of the most powerful and potent crystals you can get. Looking at moldavite. So that's an example of that. Let's go ahead and look at Gail's question. We're going to end with this one. Gail says, hi, Brad and Breanne. Do you see a big earthquake and or tsunami on the west coast of Vancouver Island City, as others are predicting? Is this because of the 4.7? Come on, guys. Really? We've had quite a few 4.6s and 4.5s, and we've even had like a 5 point. Actually, we had a 6.0 not too long ago that was just north of Vancouver Island. It was going back a few months to a couple years ago. Nobody talked about that, but as soon as it comes inland, oh my God, guys, 4.7. Guys, that's nothing, right? That's nothing. Let's go ahead and take a look at that and see if there's any big one coming for Vancouver Island or lower mainland BC, okay? No. We are very cushioned here. We have a lot of cushioning. We will get the odd one that could be maybe around the range of the 4 or the 5, okay? But I'm not seeing anything in regards to, I was actually doing a bit of a thorough scan here, looking between Vancouver Island and the lower mainland. We'll get some buffering quakes here and there, but it's kind of like Vancouver Island and BC are kind of like on a cushion in that way. And there's a lot of cushioning that happens here. A lot of these particular earthquakes will veer off and they'll actually start going very closer to the ocean. And even if there is particular type of oceanic activity or tsunami activity, it hits in areas that are not very populated, right? So I'm not sensing anything pertaining to a big one, but there will be some cushioning quakes here and there.
Yeah, I don't have any big tower moments here either, you guys, but there's a sense of, like, with the Six of Swords, I think this could be, as Brad said, there could be maybe some activity more in the waters, but I don't see
And it's in the water as well.
Yeah,
too.
that's what I mean. I feel like there could be some activity absolutely in the waters happening in the months ahead, but I still don't see any devastation or anything.
I still don't see a timeline where there's any big one. Right, if we're looking like basically what people would be saying about the big one is it's like an 8 or a 9 on the scale, and I do not see that for the West Coast at all. Right, so again, I can see 4s, 5s, maybe 6s happening, but again, in certain areas, it is not going to lead to a major loss of life. And even if people are affected by these, it may cause some shattering, it may cause some breaking of glass, it may cause some particular
sometimes this is flooding as well.
Yeah, exactly.
So
some flooding a little bit there. But it's nothing that's going to take away people's lives, right? Especially with a lot of the areas around the West Coast. A lot of the buildings nowadays are earthquake proof, right? Like skyscrapers, they'll just start shaking a little bit, but then they'll stop, right? A lot of it is earthquake proof. And I don't see 8s or 9s hitting us at all. Like I said, I've said many times that particular timeline is long gone, right? So there will be some cushioning quakes. There will be some ones that will kind of buffer us in many different ways. At most, like I said, even if we're going further down around California or Oregon, we may start to see 6s there, 5s or 6s. But anything in regards to an 8 or a 9, no, I don't see that at all. I don't see that timeline even in our midst anymore, right? Okay, everybody, I think we're out of time for today. So thank you, Breanne, for being here.
Thank you, everyone.
So again, remember, Breanne has a 20% off discount right now for the next 72 hours for her sessions. Again, tarot reading, crystal ball gazing as well too. She's extremely accurate with her crystal ball at the same time. She does feng shui too. And you're also doing
lots of
the
options,
thing, right?
yeah. And I also have a little package where you can get a mini tarot reading, kind of a guided meditation to get you into that shift, and also locking that in with wax seal as well. So that's been a lot of fun. And you get a physical shipped item as well with that.
Yep.
So.
She also has products on her website as well too, so you can check that out. And remember, right now, Etherics is 45% off all products on the web store. Okay. Thank you, everybody. Thanks for joining me, and I will be back on Friday. It's not a live session, but I'll be back on Friday for the Akashic Intelligence Report. But I'll see you all next Wednesday. Times with Adronis. More topics to come. Looking forward to it. Blessings to you all, guys. Take care. Bye for now.